little yarnivores and spiderettes. Fiber Spider back again with another tutorial just for you. And today I've got another great piece by the designer Purpleiguana on Ravelry. And you know I love her patterns because they're simple, they're elegant, and they're a lot of fun to do. So this one is called the Rivulet Shawl, and the reason why is in the description. The chain spaces in this pattern were originally included to maximize my yarn and make the most shawl I possibly could out of a single ball of yarn. As I continued making the shawl, these stacked chain spaces almost brought to mind raindrops trickling down a window. Oh, it's so pretty. Although these chain spaces don't follow the chaotic flow of a rivulet of rain, the image stuck in my mind. Well, I thought perfect, and I also had a great colorway to use for this project. This actually is, of course, Caron Cakes. Again, no, not sponsored, but I always like to let you know that what I use. So this is Caron Cakes in the colorway of Blueberry Muffin. And this was donated to me by my friend Russ. Thank you so very much. It took almost 3 skeins. Yes, 3 skeins to make this piece. The width was not the problem. The width is actually the easy part. However, the length from top to bottom, I wanted it to reach about waist length or so. Now to do that, you need to use up a lot of yarn. So keep that in mind. So I used about, I want to say 2 2/3 of a skein. The third skein was about 2/3 or so used. So you're going to need quite a bit in order to get a shawl that goes nicely down the length of your back. The materials needed, she describes as using a ball of Lion Brand's mandala or a similar weight of yarn and a size H hook. Me, well, because I used a slightly heavier weight of yarn, I used a size I 5.5 millimeter hook, and yeah, almost 3 skeins of the Caron Cakes. But of course, you can use whatever it is that you like as long as it works for you and you're happy. All right. And I do love these chain spaces and how they continue ever so often to make the piece even bigger. It's a lot of fun. It's not your typical triangle shape, which is even more fun. Also, with the way the shawl is shaped, it drapes over your shoulders very nicely, and it's not going to fall off, which is an extra bonus. So, with that being said, let's get started. Row 1. All right, so again, I've got my size I 5.5 millimeter hook, and I'm using some worsted weight yarn. But you can use, like I said, whatever works best for you. So we're going to start with our slip knot. And you can use whichever starting preference you like, whether it's a magic ring or, a chaining of 4 and a slip stitch to create a ring. Me, this is my preferred method. I use my initial chain as my magic ring. And so we're going to need to start with a double crochet. So that's going to be after our initial chain, a chaining up of 3 for our first double crochet. Then we need a chaining of 2 on top of that. So it is a total of 2, 4, and 6 chains initially. Then double crochet into that first chain. Okay, then chain 2 again, 1 and 2. Double crochet into that same first chain. Chain 2 again. And double crochet into that same chain one more time. So you end up with a total of 4 double crochets with 3 chain 2 spaces. All right, so that is row 1. Okay, row 2. So for row 2, we're going to start by chaining up 3. 1, 2, and 3. Turn the work. And in each of these double crochets, we're going to need a total of 3 double crochets. So in the first one, we already have a double crochet. So into this first stitch, 2 more double crochets for a total of 3. Then chain 2, 3 double crochets into this next double crochet. That's 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2, 3 double crochets into the next double crochet. That's 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2, and then we need 3 double crochets into the last double crochet, which can be a little bit tricky to find because it's just one big chain. So I figure the best way to do that would be to skip over these first 2 chains from the side over here and go into that next chain right here. So 3rd chain from the right, or 3rd chain from the bottom, either way. All right, so working on in there, 3 double crochets. And there you go. And that is the end of row 2. Okay, row 3. So for row 3, I'm going to start by chaining up 3. 1, 2, 3. Turn the work. And into this first double crochet, first stitch, we need a double crochet. So this counts as 2 double crochets to begin with. Then a double crochet into the next stitch. And then into that 3rd stitch, 2 double crochets. Like so. So we went from 3 to a total of 5 double crochets. Okay, then chain 2. And we're going to do the same thing in the remaining clusters. So I'm going to call these quadrants. So this is our first quadrant, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So we're going to be doing the same thing in each quadrant. So starting with this first double crochet, 2 double crochets into the first, then 1 into the second, and then 2 into the third. Like so. Chain 2, and then again into the first, 2 double crochets into the first, then 1 into the second, and then 2 doubles into the third. There you go. Chain 2, last but not least, 2 doubles into the first, one into the second, and then into the third, 2. Now it can be a little bit tricky, but we can do it. There we go. Just work right in there. 2 double crochets. And also it does help that when you're doing your initial chaining of 3, that if you go a little bit loose, so that you can get into that stitch later. So that is the end of row 3. Okay. Row 4. So row 4 is going to be very, very similar to the last row. In fact, a lot of these rows are going to be quite similar. So to begin with, start by chaining up 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's why I like Purpleiguana's patterns so much, because they are very simple. So into the first stitch, we need a double crochet so that we've got 2 in the first. Then for this quadrant, so we've got 2 in the first and we need 2 in the last. The middle 3, it's just 1 double crochet into each stitch. It's easy enough, right? So we've got 3 regular ones. Then into the last double crochet of the quadrant, 2 double crochets, because we need that increase on either side of the quadrant. Okay, so we've got 2 in the beginning, then 3 regular ones, and then 2 in the end. Okay, then chain 2, and following suit for the remaining 3 quadrants, 2 in the first, then 3 regulars, okay, and then 2 in the last. Chain 2, 2 doubles in the first, three regulars, ish, and 2, and 3, and then 2 in the last. Okay, chain 2, 2 in the first, okay, 3 regulars, and then 2 in the last double crochet. Pretty straightforward, don't you think? Even when we get into where we're making our chain 1 spaces, it's still very straightforward. It's still very easy to follow along and to see where you're at within the pattern, which is a big bonus. All right, so that is the end of the 4th row. Oh yeah. Okay, row 5, gonna follow suit very much in the same way. Gonna start by chaining up 3, turn the work, double crochet into that first stitch so that we have 2 on the end. And then, well, we need 2 on the end on this side, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 double crochets. We do 1 in each. So 5 regulars, and 3, 4, and 5, and then 2 in the last one. Like so. Chain 2, 2 in the first, five regular doubles. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then 2 in the last one. Chain 2, 2 in the first, 5 regulars. That's 3 and 4 and 5, then 2 in the last. Chain 2, 2 in the first, 5 regulars. Oops. Ooh. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5, then 2 in the last. And there we go. That's the end of row 5. So you can see where this is going. You know, it's pretty straightforward. All right, and we shall continue on. Okay, row 6. So for row 6, this is where things get a little bit different. So I'm going to start by chaining up 3. 1, 2, 3. Turn the work. And double crochet into that first stitch once again. Then, and this counts as our first 2 doubles, double crochet into the next 3 doubles. That's 1 and 2 and 3. So we have, technically speaking, a total of 5. Okay, now chain 1, skip one of the doubles down here, the next double, going into the next one, like so, and then 2 more regulars for a total of 3 regular doubles, and then in the last stitch, 2 doubles. And this is where the rivulets start to happen, so to speak. Okay, so we've got technically 5, and then a chain 1, and then 5. It just so happens that the first 2 and the last 2 are together. I hope that makes sense. Excusez-moi. Okay, so then, continuing on with the next quadrant, chain 2. In the first double, 2 doubles in the same stitch. Okay, then 3 regular doubles for a total of 5. Like so. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 1, skip the next, going into the next, 1, 2, and, well, almost 3, and 3, and then 2 in the last to complete this quadrant. Chain 2, 2 into the first, then 3 regulars, so we've got our total of 5, chain 1, skip a double going into the next 3 with regular doubles, like so, and then 2 in the last. Now what you need to keep in mind, which becomes, like second nature after a while, what you need to keep in mind is that as far as your quadrants are concerned, the first 2 and the last 2 are always 2 double crochets into the same stitch, okay? No matter which quadrant you're on, that's where you need to be. Okay, and then as far as separating the quadrants, it's always 2 chains. 1, 2, like so. So in the first double, we need 2 double crochets, and then 3 more, 1 and 2 and 3 for a total of 5. Chain 1, skip 1, going into the next 3 doubles with doubles, okay, and then 2 doubles in the last stitch. Like so. And that is the end of row 6. Now, obviously, this shape is going to continue to be exacerbated, this sort of V shape. And that is actually a good thing in this case because, like I said, with this shape and the way that it folds down, your neck is right in this space there, and this will not be inclined to slip off your shoulders. So yeah, this is not going to be a flat-edged top, okay? So, I mean, if that's not your style, I've got plenty of others on my channel that are, but this one, you know, it's a little bit different, and I rather like it. So, that being said, that is the end of row 6. Now, as far as the rest of this pattern is concerned, the full repeat for this pattern is rows 7 through 12, I believe. Yep, 7 through 12. So what I'm going to do is, because I like to be very thorough, I'm going to break this tutorial up into a second part so that the second part is the full repeat for you guys. That way you can refer to that instead of jumping around all over the place. So with that being said, I really do hope that you're enjoying this so far. You know I am. I love teaching you guys new things. And again, thank you so much to Purpleiguana for creating yet another fabulous pattern for us. And this will also be in the description box down below as far as where the pattern is. And if you are enjoying this, please give me a little thumbs up button because I really do appreciate your support, and I thank you so very much. And also, if you haven't, please hit subscribe because I try to post videos as often as I can, whether it's crocheting, knitting, audiobook narration, or my other YouTube channel, Fiber Spider Games, for video game playthrough, commentary, and a lot of laughs. So, until next time, I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, and above all, stay stitching, and stay tuned for part 2 of this fabulous shawl pattern. I'll see you next time. You have a great day. Bye for now.